And welcome into No Layups. David Nuño, Raheel Ramzanali. We're rebranding the show name. We're going to start calling it Don't Go for Two When You Don't Have to. That's the name of the show. Hey, Heezy.
What's up, man? I want to call it Heartbreak City. I mean, can we just get something good here? I get it. The Astros made a run and forced a game 7, and that was fun. That was cool. Can we get like something nice though? Can we get something we can rally around? Win a big division game on the road after you were trailing. You forced turnovers. JJ has his best game of the season. JJ has his best game in a long time, and it's all for naught. And I'm okay with the decision.
I'm not okay with the decision, but I'm okay with the decision. I understand the rationale behind it, right? But first off, I'm very conservative by nature. So I'm a big believer. You make them make the big plays. And by big plays, it would take multiple big plays for you to lose that game. You made it, instead of having to give them 2 plays, you gave them, all they had to do was make 1 big play. And that's exactly what happened. You could argue, I don't think it was a touchdown when I watched the replay, but it's hard with the evidence that they were given to take away the touchdown. But I think you gave all the power to the Titans. You gave them a little extra momentum by not getting it. Now, you can make the argument, but if you get that 2-point conversion, it's a great idea. If you run a red light and you make it to work early, great idea. If you run a red light and you get into an accident, not a great idea. That's what decisions are. Oh yeah, but if it worked, then you would have loved it. But it didn't work, so I don't love it.
So let me lay it out for you, okay? What if I told you, okay, this is a 30 for 30 now that we're doing.
What if I told you?
What if I told you that one coach said that he could win the game with a 2-yard play? And if Deshaun gets rid of the ball quicker, they probably win that. Well, they do win the game because now it's a 2-possession game. They're up by 9. What if I told you you controlled your own destiny? Do you take that opportunity?
No, because I know the truth. If. There's so many ifs in here. If. I would rather have a team have to beat you twice as opposed to beat you once. Okay? They moved the ball. You couldn't stop Derrick Henry. Make them beat you twice. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Romeo. I love the stones that he went for it on 4th down, right? I loved it. And Brandon Cooks came up with the big play. I loved it. I understand why you do it, because you, as the interim head coach, you're kind of playing for your own job if you want to stay there, right? I'm okay with the decision if it worked, but it didn't work. So I'm not okay with the decision. We would not be having this discussion right now. We'd be talking about, hey, the Texans went into Tennessee, into Nashville, against a team that is much better than them, ran all over them, had a nice big lead, and guess what? The Texans came away and stole a victory because they came back in the second half. But that is not what happened.
Man, it was rough, man, but it was fun to see Deshaun back to being Deshaun. Like some of the plays they were calling, it was beautiful. Yeah, he absolutely was. Deshaun was great today. Look, man, he didn't convert the 2-pointer. That's fine. David Johnson was not good again, by the way. That we're going to get to that. You didn't think Deshaun was good today?
I think Deshaun was good on those over-the-top throws and extending plays, what Deshaun is good at. What I don't think Deshaun has been very good at is those little dinks and dumps where his feet aren't set and the throws are all off. And they were off several times today.
Sure.
And that's where I struggle with. But, yeah, I mean, if you look at his video game numbers, fantastic game. And he made plays when he had to. So, yes, I don't want to take away too much from Deshaun, but I don't think this guy is setting his feet very often, and his throws have not been accurate all season long.
He was awesome in the 4th quarter with the out routes to Cooks. Multiple times they hit those. He got better as the game went on. He wasn't the reason they lost. David Johnson, and look, I listen to sports radio a lot, and I like hearing the spin of the David Johnson, like, hey, man, he's good. It's just, he's not getting the extra yards. He's not good right now. Like, forget the trade, forget how much he's worth on the cap space, all that stuff. Don't worry about it. Just look at him as a player. And it's not good right now. You are not getting anything from him, especially when you're running inside runs between the tackles. It's an immediate stuff. He had one nice run on that final drive where they did eventually score a touchdown. It was for 13 yards, and that was the best he looked. The hole was huge. The offensive line did their job as well. But for the most part, anytime he runs up the middle, on the side, even on the tackle, it's so bad. It's like there's no hope. He's already halfway bent over, and there's no momentum. So why even try it? That 4th down call was huge by Romeo to go for it and get that touchdown. It was a nice throw. Deshaun, again, extended the play and got a nice throw to Cooks for the touchdown. But before that, it was David Johnson run. David Johnson run. You're like, please stop with the David Johnson runs. Please, it's not working. But they, you know what? They got the touchdown. They went for 2. They didn't get that. And man, Rich Gannon almost lost he almost popped a blood vessel there on air just talking about going for 2, the analytics. I don't think that was an analytical move, by the way. I think that was a Romeo Crennel gut play. Like, hey, you know what? I feel it in my gut. Let's go for it.
Well, let me just give you a couple of reasons. And I see people telling me, look, there's a lot of discussion. The defense is terrible. Keandre saying the Titans would have scored 2, the 2-point conversion. Romeo notes that their defense is not very good. I understand that argument, all right? But the problem is when you give a team an opportunity to beat you on 1 play and not 2, 1 play and not 2, and obviously it takes more than 1 play. You have to drive down the field. You got to have a little bit of faith. But the thing is, you were playing with house money. You got the block punt. You got 2 missed field goals, right? You got so many opportunities. You miss your 2-point conversion. Kaimi misses a field. You're playing with house money. You're up with less than 2 minutes left. Make them beat you twice. That's all I ask. But look,
David. Okay, they're up 8. If they're up 8, right? If the Texans went for the field goal, or excuse me, the extra point, they go up by 8. Ryan Tannehill drives down the field like he did. They get the touchdown, and they just need to get 2 yards there, right? There's 100% chance, and I get it. Like, you never know. Derrick Henry, the way he was gashing you for 200+ yards today, they're probably going to get it there too. Romeo was suggesting when he went for 2 that, hey, look, our defense isn't good right now. Our defense can't stop them, even though there was the forced fumble by J.J. Watt. You had the interception by Roby, which was nice, but they were still gashing you up. And Romeo's going, they're probably going to score here, so let's just end the game, go up by 9.
Well, here's the thing. They used their trick play, their wildcat, I don't know if it's a trick play, on the touchdown. All right, so they burned it. What are they going to do next? Yes, you put 100 guys on.
Run right up the gut, man. It was Derrick Henry.
So I understand the argument, but I'm telling you, beat you twice in the end zone is harder than beat you once. That's a proven fact. To get in the end zone 2 times is harder than getting in once. Fact.com. And here he is, Fred Weary, original Texan, joining the show. I don't know if he's ready for us. He looks like he's doing some research. What's up, Fred?
Oh, let me get your mic here. Hold on. Fred, you're going to have to unmute your mic. You're going to have to unmute your mic there. There he is.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
What's up, man? What's up?
Oh, man, not too much. Just sitting here, man. And, oh, boy, that was – oh, man, got to do better.
Hey, man. Okay, so, Fred, we don't mean this to be a hot sports take show, right? I'm not trying to be Skip Bayless. He's not trying to be Stephen A. But, like, to me – and we got to get you on the screen, man. Where are you? There you are. There we
go.
To me, man, like, I understand you don't have faith in your defense. I understand that that's the theory of why Romeo went for 2. But I'm a big believer, man. Make them beat you twice, not beat you once with under 2 minutes left in the game. Make them make the plays, not you.
I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, in those situations like that, I know the game's on the line and, you want to make the best decision for your team and all, but just like you said, make them beat you twice and all and stuff, man. So, I mean, the ball, it's what they say. Sometimes you hit the ball in the net and everything and stuff. So, I mean, that's just the way the ball went this time for us again.
So you would have just kicked the extra point. If you were Romeo Crennel, let's make it an 8-point game. Mm-hmm.
I was sitting here with my son. I mean, he's somehow a big Tennessee fan for some reason. And, and I was just going back through the play because I saw the play right there at the tail end of the play. And then, when Tennessee scored, I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. Did they go for 2 instead of kicking the field goal for the win? I mean, I'm like, whoa. And then, and those type of plays, they come back and they bite you.
They do bite you. I want to talk about several layers of this game, Fred, but that touchdown by A.J. Brown, I don't think there was enough evidence to overrule it, but I don't think it was a touchdown. I think his leg touched.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Once they called it a touchdown, for them to overturn it, at that point, it was going to be hard for them to do because, I mean, we can see that the knee came down, or the shin came down out of bounds and all, but it was just still that, that's that gray area there where, you could have said that the foot touched down as well and all and stuff. I mean, I think, if they would have looked at it possibly, did his foot kick up maybe some dirt before the knee hit, and then you could have maybe, but the film, they couldn't, the film didn't show that and all and stuff. So it was hard for them. Once they called it a touchdown, I was saying to myself, it's going to be hard for them to overturn that call.
Yeah, what you call on the field, there just wasn't enough evidence that clearly suggested an overturn. You can make the argument, and this is, Will Fuller's touchdown that could have been a touchdown to end the game. That gets overturned, and you're like, man, the Texans are just losing on these last minute touchdowns that get reviewed. But I thought it was the right call. Like, there wasn't enough to overturn it, and unfortunately, it happens, man, and this is where the argument starts. David and you, Fred, are saying, look, man, make them score 2 on you and tie the game up there and force overtime, and we'll get to overtime again. I mean, just another busted play. Derrick Henry's wide open, but that's where he came back and bit them.
Yep. I mean, Derrick Henry, man, what can you say about that guy? He's definitely, he's been made a name for himself, but I think he's making a mark for himself in Canton, just the way that he's just going about his business and everything and stuff. So, but, with the Texans, I liked, we saw some, big plays from them as well that we haven't, been seeing from them, in the season and all and stuff. I think that was Will Fuller on the big touchdown pass up the sideline. Things like that. It shows that, the team has a lot of capability, but we just got to put everything and put four great quarters of football together.
Fred, I think I was a little hard on Deshaun Watson. I was a little critical of his game because I feel like the few throws that he missed, his feet weren't set. But then if you just look at his numbers, who the heck am I to argue with his numbers? 28 of 37, 335 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. The numbers were great. I think it could have been even better, though, on a couple missed throws that he had because his feet aren't set. That being said, it's the NFL with a bad offensive line. You're not going to have chance all the time.
That is exactly right. Those guys, those 5 guys up front. They're getting paid to protect that $100 million that we got back there and all and stuff. So, it was a lot of plays where they were pressured, and he had to move his feet, and he couldn't get comfortable back there. And I'm sure that was Tennessee's game plan to not allow him to get comfortable and all and stuff. So, they brought the pressure at him, and you got to give it up for Tennessee's defensive front as well, against our offensive line.
Let me put that comment back up, Raheel.
I knew you were going to like this one.
Jason, come on, man. It was a good game either way, guys. Jeez, they went down fighting. That's what they're supposed to do. Look, I'm not trying to be rude, but, they fought well. They fought better today than they fought any week we've seen. Awesome. This is a sports talk show where we break down sports and we find a positive and a negative. And the negative is they lost. Hey, thanks for trying.
But they went down fighting at least. Don't you want that? Yeah. You want a little fight, right? Come on, let's give them some love. They went down fighting. Let's talk about J.J. Watt. He had a great game today. He was causing all sorts of havoc. He actually, look, I know Derrick Henry ran for 212 yards, but he could have ran for 300 if it wasn't for JJ. He was making some big plays today. He had the strip sack fumble there. That was incredible. Let's talk about JJ's game. What did you see, Fred? That was his best game that I've seen in a really long time.
The guy he's just a workhorse. He is the leader of the defense. He is, behind Watson. We're in front of Watson, the face of the organization and all this. It's just year in and year out. Coming off an injury, whatever the case may be. I don't think we can really say enough about what he does for this team and what he does for, our defense and all that stuff. And not just the plays he makes, the plays that he affects, during the game and all that stuff, man. And, that I think that goes unnoticed a lot of times because it's not a sack or maybe it's not a tackle for a loss or something. But he makes plays that, just his presence on the field and all that stuff.
Hey, I do want to go back to the Romeo thing for a second. I just want to throw this out to both of you guys. Can't all things be true? Meaning, I understand the rationale, the reasoning behind going for 2. It makes sense, and if it works, you're a genius. But it can also be the wrong call because you lost. Can it be both?
Absolutely. Do you hit on 16 when you're playing blackjack? The numbers say you're supposed to hit on 16, right? But some
never
people
play blackjack.
What's your risk factor, right? Of course, no chance Nuño plays blackjack. Fred, do you hit on 16?
Say that again.
Do you hit on 16 if you're playing blackjack?
Well, I'm not a blackjack player, but I mean, that call, man, it's, what they say, damn if you do, damn if you don't,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and all that stuff. I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, if it works, we sit here happy, but it don't work. I mean, we can always, what they say, hindsight is 20/20. We always question that and all that stuff. But I guess in a moral victory, we can say that he had enough to go
Fred,
for.
we don't do moral victories.
No, we don't
Fred.
want moral wins.
This isn't PDF soccer for the kids. Like, come on. There's
Look,
no
man.
more. Hey, you get a ribbon.
There's a lot. I think I'm in the minority. I'm usually in the minority, being a minority, but like in this discussion, I really am in the minority here about going for 2 and just putting the game away. And we saw that comment earlier about if you can't stop a 1-minute drill with 1 timeout,
Yep.
then you don't deserve to win the game, right? Like that's
I don't
on you.
care.
Good point.
I just want the win. Who cares if you deserve
Yeah,
it?
so if you want the win, then you go for 2 and get those yards. Just get those 2 yards, and the game is over. That's it. The game is done.
Or
Yeah.
make the Titans earn it. And Fred, I made this example earlier. Tell me if you agree with me here. If you run a red light to get to work on time and you make it, great idea. If you run a red light and you hit another car, bad idea. If it doesn't work, it's a bad idea. It didn't work. Just like taking just like taking Zach Greinke out. It didn't work. Bad idea. Leave him in last year, win a World Series. It's just the way it works.
But here's the analogy. Sorry, here's where the analogy falls apart for me, David, because it's you ran a red light and you got a ticket. You got a ticket and now you pay the fine. I don't think it was a car wreck because your defense still had to stop them, and they had to go down the field 1 minute, and there was a nice special teams play right before they stopped them before the 20. So your kickoff team actually did a good job. It was 140 or 132.
It's my
and one
red
timeout.
light, Raheel.
No,
My
I'm
red
helping. I'm helping.
There
you
was an
clear.
accident in my red light. Okay,
Oh,
different than yours.
no. The 2-point conversion was not an accident. We don't have to call Geico.
Hey, Fred, so just from what you've seen from Romeo, look, I like the Texans' mood with Romeo way more than I liked it with Bill. There is something about how loose they play. If they fall in a 14-0 hole with Bill, I would give up on them. I didn't give up on them today. Just your take on what you've seen from Romeo, even though they're 1-1 in a game that was very winnable.
I mean, he's got the locker room and all and stuff for those guys. I mean, with the transition from 2 weeks ago or last week, to move away from I forgot his name already, Bill O'Brien, Bill O'Brien, and all. But I mean, I think he has the respect in the locker room. I think guys trust. I mean, trust, and the organization trusts him because he's there. I mean, he's been there where you can say that maybe that they should have let him go or cut ties with him, whatever the case may be. I mean, he's a legend in the game. He knows what he knows what he's doing defensively, and you know what, he can get the team. He can get the team to get the team together and all and stuff. So I really think it just starts with there. I mean, with that core group of guys that's in that building every day with him, they believe and trust in what he's doing. What's that going to do for him at the end of the season? I mean, we don't know. But as far as right now, I mean, he has an opportunity to make a difference in his team, and he's taking the opportunity to do that.
Let me throw this in here real quick, Raheel, if you don't mind. Fred, to me, on that 2-point conversion call too, regardless if it won or lost, and we're over here arguing it, we're sitting on a chair talking about it. They're actually living that life. I think if you're a player in his locker room, you love that he showed that kind of guts.
Right, and that's what I meant about that earlier. I mean, you want a coach that believes in your team. Believe in your offense and everything, look, hey, let's go here and put this game away. Because I'm sure that what he was thinking, as he was going through the decision whether or not to kick the field goal or go for the 2. He was like, look, let's put this game away and all and stuff. And that's why they went for 2 and all and stuff. But, I think that's going to be the glaring effect of the game, because it did come down to that call and that situation for us to, the defense, I mean, come on, they went back out and they couldn't stop him and all and stuff. So, I think it's a lot on their shoulders that they have to take as well. And all knowing that guys, hey, our coach, he made a move to give us an opportunity to win and all and stuff. And defensively, we have to go back out there and seal the deal.
All right, do you guys want to go around and let's give some positives, stuff that we saw? Because it was still, again, everything you laid out there, Fred. It came down to the wire. We had a chance there to win that game and all that good stuff. But let's go around and just give out some positives from the game, what you liked. Let's go. Let's start rapid firing them. Fred, you go first.
I like the way that Deshaun handled himself in the game. I mean, that's the first thing that stood out most to me. I think he commanded the offense very well. I mean, even when heck, when we get down 14-0, nobody's head went down on that offense and all, and they kept pounding.
I'm going to say I'm glad they tried today and they fought to the very end, guys. No, I'm kidding. I look, Deshaun Watson was masterful. I was a little critical after the game because I was masterful. I love the way the offense and really the defense, special teams, they all really got after it, right? So you force the block punt with Justin Reed. You have the JJ strip sack, which becomes points for the Texans later on, and then Deshaun able to capitalize on those, especially on that long pass to Will Fuller.
I'm going to go J.J. Watt, man. He made an impact on the game. They needed a game like that from J.J. Watt. And, with McKinney gone now as well, like you needed somebody to step up, and he did just that. But unfortunately, the rest of the defense was not good today. A lot of busted plays, a lot of missed tackles, and that's going to happen with Derrick Henry. Most everyone's going to miss. I mean, you have to gang tackle him, and we saw that a few times where he just broke through. That 94-yard run was just – oh, that was demoralizing for sure. You're like, what do you do here, man? Like, what do you do? Not only that, and there were 3 Texans around him, and then he puts on the afterburners, and he's outrunning the secondary.
Yeah. Just his size may make you not feel that he's that fast. And the guy got some wheels. He reminds me a lot of, guy I played with in college. You guys may know Jamal Lewis and all that stuff. I mean, that, just to have that, just that massive body and all to be able to move it that fast. I mean, it's unbelievable to watch. My next thing is, the rushing game. We had 92 yards in rushing. That's one of the things I think that, needs to get better. It takes a lot of pressure off of Deshaun in the passing game. If, we could just sustain if we can just sustain a good running game and stuff. And Johnson, he did a fairly decent job today. I mean, I know a lot of those plays got overshadowed and whatnot, but he did some good things in the running game today.
All right, guys. I appreciate your time, Fred. We hope to get you back on the show at some point soon. And thanks for being an OG and original Texan and always good to us, man. I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, man. You guys have a good one. Appreciate you guys for having me.
Thanks,
you
Fred.
too, man. Take care. Fred Weary, the original Texan. Raheel, I got a 5:30 newscast I got to get ready, so we'll give some parting shots here before we head out. Look, it hurts because the victory was there, but if you take a look at the snapshot from a step away, what a performance by the Texans. They're going to beat teams by shootouts. That's how they can beat teams. They can't stop you, but if you have the ball last, you got a chance with Deshaun and those wide receivers.
Absolutely. I'm with you. Like, big picture, you got the Packers next week. Then you got your bye week. More than likely, if there are no COVID-19 reschedules coming from the NFL, you're 1-1 in the division. And it's a road game that you were supposed to lose, right? So I get it. Like, it sucks, but you still have the division games left. You got them in front of you. You got to win those, obviously, especially the ones at home. You got to flip one. You got to win the one in Indianapolis, your last division game on the road, and see what can happen with the rest of the season. But, man, a winnable game that unfortunately didn't go their way, and I'm okay with the aggressive call by Romeo. And again, it depends. I think both are acceptable. Like, I'm with you. Like, hey, that's Romeo's decision, and I get it from both sides. I'm with him on this one. You're not, and that's just the risk factor that people have on their personal decisions when you have to make that call, and that's football, man. That's look, right there.
I get the call. I want to make sure everybody understands. I understand the call. I just am more conservative in that situation. That's it. Like, my philosophy, and I think it's okay when you're 0 or 1-4 to try things to guarantee the victory. I get it. It makes all sense. It just didn't work. And I believe it would have been a lot harder to score twice, in my opinion, twice with the 2-point conversion and the touchdown than once, especially the mindset, the motivation. The Titans are thinking, all right, well, we know what we got to do now. Like, it's harder than, all we need is a touchdown. Let's go.
Absolutely. So you got the 5:30 coming up. Then, of course, the big Sunday show. You got to get ready for that as well, right?
Gosh, I'm on TV all day today, people. Come
Oh,
on. Why am
man.
I doing this show right now? I'm busy. Hey, by the way,
Yeah.
as we end the show, No Layups, a basketball name for a football / baseball / soccer / everything show. First off, congrats to the Astros. Talk about fighting to the end and the participation in that. Those guys left it all out on the field. And Raheel, you had an awesome tweet that kind of summarized it. Look, that team, that was a hard loss last night, but honestly one that I could handle and be like, I was just proud of those guys. After everything they went through the scandal, the injuries, the world hating them, I think people may not admit it, they earned a lot of respect these last 2 weeks.
They did. They fought till the very end, man, and that was so much fun. You just see the storylines. You see Carlos Correa emerge as the public leader for this team. They take down the Oakland A's, a team that's given them fits this season, losing 7 out of 10 in Oakland. And then you see them fight, right? Down 3-0. They come back. They make it a series. They go to a game 7. And unfortunately, the Rays, the better team all year long, played better baseball in that one game situation, and you lose. But man, the heart that they showed, that was stuff I was proud of. Like I'm just happy that we get to root for this team, and who knows what this team is going to look like next year. I think the way they went down yesterday, like it sucks that they didn't get to a World Series, but man, I was so proud to watch this core group of guys the last few years just leave it all on the line and bring so much joy for the city.
Along the same token, I can still be proud of the Texans because I thought they were going to get demolished 34-0, something. Like I thought, and they had a fighter's chance at the end. It was like a Rocky Balboa versus Apollo Creed first fight. They went for the knockout. They didn't get it, but from that respect, props. Still wish they would have won, and they should have won, and whatever. But that's neither here or there. All right, Heezy, appreciate your time. We will have another show this upcoming week. I know we got a Texans player scheduled to hang out with us, and we're doing a little bit with our anti-bullying campaign here at ABC 13 and Disney, so we'll get into that. A lot of good stuff. Texans, nice fight. Just didn't get it done. We will talk about Green Bay next week. Appreciate your time, everybody.